have there we go. Okay, so welcome, ladies, to our live Q&A for the month. I'm excited to roll these out. If you missed it and you're like, I didn't even know this was happening, these are all on our client calendar that you received via email and that was posted in the bod group. So at the beginning of every month or towards the end of the month for the next month, I post a calendar that is specifically for clients of everything that we have happening this month. And we did this last month. We did a live Q&A, and then the month before, and we did it at night before. We were able to have a few girls hop on who worked, but I thought I'd give a morning one a try this time and see if it worked better for anybody. But this is just a chance for, if it doesn't work, that you're able to set up a one-on-one, or you just want to get to know other girls in the community, or you just have some questions that you want me to tackle. This is just a chance for you to kind of ask those, and I'll answer them and work through them. And I think it'll be really helpful. So today Julie's on. She was able to join us live, and I know she has a few questions. And then I have a few questions here that a few of you guys dropped in the question box. But if you have anything else that you want to ask that doesn't get covered in this video, feel free to drop it in the group me or on that post in the bod group. And I can always just type it out or send you a quick video message. But I think these are really helpful. I think sometimes other people ask questions that we don't think to ask. And so that's why I told Julie she had some questions. I was like, just hop on the call this morning, because I guarantee there will be someone else in the community who has the same questions. And so to be able to work through it together is really powerful. So that's kind of the premises. And I will just share this too, just because I've gotten a lot of questions just about new things coming. Obviously, I've changed up my social media a little bit, but we've got some exciting things coming just for the Fit for His Glory community in general. And we're going to be doing more live classes like this, some classes that are a little more of me teaching on specific faith topics with faith and fitness, and then also just interviewing other people in the fitness community and their stories and their journeys, because if I have learned anything in fitness, it's that it's not one size fits all, and every single person's journey is a little bit different. And even things that trigger them or things that are hard for them or things that work for each person is different, just because of our backgrounds and kind of how we grew up and how we view food and how our bodies are made. All of our bodies are a little bit different. I mean, we see that in our fingerprints, just how our bodies are all a little bit different. And so things that work for one person might not work specifically for another. And so just being able to interview different women so that you guys can hear different kind of approaches to health and fitness, I think is really powerful. So today we're going to dive into this Q&A. I'm going to try to keep it 30 minutes. So we'll try to be done by about 9:30 or so, depending on what questions we get through. And yeah, so here we go. Julie, do you want to go ahead with your questions first? And then I'll do the questions, the few questions that I got from other ladies last.
Sure.
Yay. Thanks for being on, by the way.
Yeah. So I felt like recently I'm kind of at a plateau with my health and fitness, and
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the 645 program, but also I feel like I could use more help with my nutrition. I've thought about using my Fitness Pal or something, just for a couple weeks, but I don't want the idea of doing that long term, because I feel like I could be the type of person that becomes too obsessive over that kind of stuff, and I don't want to let that take over my mindset every day.
Yeah, totally.
That's the only thing I think about. So then, how do you find that balance?
Yeah, absolutely. How much weight do you need to / want to lose?
I think probably about 10 pounds.
Okay. And honestly, the last 10 pounds are the hardest to get off. Every single time that I've had to lose weight, from having a baby or when I first started my journey, those last 10 pounds are always difficult. And I think too, this isn't always something you want to hear, but as you get older, it also gets harder because a lot of times we compare our bodies now with our bodies when we were like 21 or 19, and like your body as you get a little bit older, it's going to be a little bit harder to like, especially with those last 5 to 10 pounds. Now that's not always the case, but that's just kind of a rule of thumb, something to think about. Um, a couple things I would say before we dive into the nutrition in general, because obviously nutrition is 80% of your results. So I think a lot of times people get so focused on working out, and I actually had a call with a client yesterday and I said the same thing to her, like she's brand new to fitness. And sometimes for someone who has, 150 pounds to lose, which is the case for this lady, working out can almost not be a good idea for them, because what happens is you start to work out and you get hungrier and then you want to eat more. And so sometimes the best place to start is to start with your nutrition and just start walking or start, that kind of thing. And then, start to kind of put in the working out, because what I have also found is that working out, like muscle weighs more than fat. And so for myself, like right now I'm, 10 pounds, well, I would say 8 pounds up from where I was when I got pregnant with Corbin. But I also know I'm a lot stronger and I have a lot more muscle definition. And so my body is going to weigh more because I have more muscle. When I got married, I was 20 pounds less than I am right now. But I was also using MyFitnessPal. I was obsessed with it. I didn't eat more than 1,200 calories. I made sure that every time I worked out, I burned at least 800 calories, which is not healthy, or 750. I was like whittling away. I had like no muscle definition because like I was not fueling my body like it needed. And so I didn't have energy and I was tired. And yes, I was skinny, but like, and so I say all that to kind of set the preface of like, there's like kind of knowing those things, especially when you get down to that last 10 pounds of like, if you're doing a program like 645, you probably are like, if you're kind of in your goal range, you might see weight gain over weight loss just because you're building muscle. And in the long run, muscle burns fat. So you're going to start to burn fat, but it still might not be a ton of weight on the scale. So those are just kind of things to keep in mind first off. The other thing I would say too is like, I know for you, you've had some health issues that can also make a huge difference in your weight as well. Like just if anything is inflamed, that's going to cause a 5 to 10 pound weight gain. Like if any part of your body is inflamed at all. And then another thing, for other women who might be watching, this might not be the case for you, but as you get older too, especially once you have kids and you're breastfeeding or, anything, your thyroid takes a huge hit. And so I know for myself, I recently had all my thyroid levels checked because I've had trouble losing that last 10 pounds. And I had my thyroid levels checked, and one of my thyroid levels was like, it wasn't low enough to where they would like want to put me on medicine, which I wouldn't, maybe, I don't know if I would or not, but it wasn't low enough to that point, but it was like very, very low. And it's the thyroid like level that basically controls your metabolism. So essentially, like I was experiencing adrenal fatigue, and a lot of it was probably because I nursed for 11 months. I was pregnant right before that. I lost a lot of weight at one time, like for the most part. So these are things just to keep in mind, because sometimes we get really frustrated and we're doing all the things and we're like, why am I not seeing change in my body? And it's literally things that you can't even control, And so if someone's watching this and you're like, hey, I'm doing all the things, I'm doing TB mindset to a T, like literally to a T, I am working out, I'm doing the things, but I'm not seeing any weight loss, I would then say you need to dig deeper. Go to your doctor and get a blood panel. Ask them to check every single one of your thyroid levels. You have to push back on this because they will not. They will check like one or two. You have to be like, I really want you to check all of my thyroid levels. I want to make sure everything is good. Honestly, I think after every time you have a baby, especially after you start breastfeeding, you need to have your levels checked, because every time, I mean, your body is going through so much. And right now, with you, Julie, specifically with your health, your body's going through a lot. You're probably getting put on medications or they're testing things on you. And so your body is going to react to that. So give yourself grace in that too, of knowing like your body's trying to figure out like what's going on and keep up with it. The other thing I would say too, and this is just something to think about, a little hard because you work at a coffee shop, but sometimes if your body is inflamed, you need to step away from like caffeine or cut back on caffeine, because your body, it can like spike into adrenal fatigue, and caffeine can actually make it a lot worse when your body's inflamed. There's a really amazing lady that I love following. If you're like curious about hormones or you're curious about thyroid levels or adrenal fatigue or anything like that, her Instagram is Dr. Brighton, and she actually makes like vitamins specific for women. And they're not just vitamins, there's also just supplements in general. But I did her supplement called Balance, for a month, and I would still be on it, but I've got some other stuff going on, so I can't be on it right now. It was amazing for my body. And it really helped my thyroid levels and my hormone levels start to even out. She has like a whole one for people with thyroid issues too. So I had started taking that too, but because of the other stuff I have going on, I had to step away from it for now. But she's got some amazing stuff. And just honestly, her Instagram is full of really good information and it's all natural. I also really like Dr. Axe. If you guys have never heard of him, I use like his vitamins, that I take, his prenatals and things like that whenever I'm pregnant. But his stuff is really good, and it's all he does a lot of stuff with like Chinese medicine, but just ancient medicine in general. And he's a strong Christian. Like I have a lot of friends who know him, like because he lives in Nashville. So that would be another person to check out and just see like, because I'm all about like digging deeper if you know you're doing all the things. But specifically about nutrition, sorry to kind of chase that rabbit, but it's something I've gotten really passionate about recently because there's so many things that go into our body. Like it's crazy. So with nutrition specifically, obviously we have two programs with Beachbody, 2B Mindset and Portion Fix. They're both amazing. I will say like different seasons of life, I do believe bring different things. And I do think that, after I had Corbin, Portion Fix, when I was doing Muscle Burns Fat, was perfect for me because I needed easy, check the box. If you guys don't know, there's under the files tab in the Beachbody On Demand group, there's some Portion Fix like graphs that you can use. There's one for plan A, one for plan B, one for plan C. It's really good. But I would say that even if you're in your goal range, you may need a bump up in Portion Fix. Reality is that most people don't eat enough. And I would even venture to say that like plan A on Portion Fix is not enough food for most people. 1,200 calories is not enough for most people. So if you need structure, like if you're someone who's like, I like to check boxes, I need structure, I think Portion Fix is really good. But maybe it's that you need to bump up to plan B or C, and then you might start to see weight loss again because your body might just be in starvation mode. And it might be like you're working out a lot, you're doing a lot of weight, but you're not fueling me enough. So that could be something that you think about. Have you done 2B Mindset or Portion Fix? Like, have you tried those and like you feel like you like gave it your all, like 100, like I wouldn't say 100%, but like 80% of the time?
I've never tried the Portion Fix. I just got the containers in the mail.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've tried the 2B Mindset.
Yeah.
I think it works really well for me, and I don't have a lot of weight to lose, but I don't know. When you're comparing your body to what it used to be, it's hard to not compare. Like
I know, girl.
tennis in college, and so like knowing what I used to be able to do and like comparing it to now, it can be frustrating.
Yes, I get it. And honestly, it's crazy because people be like, oh, you compare, like, we talk about comparison a lot. And I think we think of comparing ourselves to other people, but I think most people compare themselves to themselves, like wherever they were at their fittest, even if they know that wasn't a healthy place. Because I found myself being like, well, I was 132 when we got married. Like, why can't I get back to 132 right now? Why am I like 150, 149, 150, 152. It's like I can't get past this barrier. But I think just having to remind myself of like, okay, like what is this about? Is it about like really getting the smallest back to the smallest place, which wasn't actually a healthy place for me? And I had to do unhealthy things in order to get there. I don't want to live like that. I want to live a healthy lifestyle that glorifies and honors the Lord. And like starving myself is not going to do that. And like, so I would say to you, like, just even checking your heart on that. But maybe that is a healthy weight for you. That's the thing too. Like, I also have friends like my friend Ashley. I mean, last year she lost like 50 pounds. Like, she was like, I'm going to do this. And she is so disciplined. And I love her heart for just like being disciplined in what she eats and that kind of thing. And she does macros, which basically Portion Fix is macros. So when you hear people say like, I track my macros on MyFitnessPal or I track my macros, Portion Fix is an easy way of tracking your macros. And if you guys didn't know, they just came out with some updates to the Portion Fix. And there's actually one on intermittent fasting, which I'm planning to like do intermittent fasting, not right now, but like down the road a little bit. I've got some stuff going on right now, so I eventually will though. Intermittent fasting is fascinating. I watched a whole series on Netflix on it. But there's a whole new the thing that they just rolled out. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up really quick just so I can show you guys. They just rolled this out on Portion Fix as a part of the Portion Fix program, and it's intermittent fasting. And it's on Beachbody on demand. So I'm going to show it to you guys if I can get it pulled up. But that also might be a really good thing for you to look into. One of my good friends, Bree, recently started doing it, and she said she can tell a huge difference in her body. Like, everything's gotten tighter, like she's lost some. She just honestly feels better. I know specifically for you, Julie, I don't know if you've heard this, but Shelby told me when she first got diagnosed, and I know you guys have the same thing. She told me that they told her that paleo was like pretty much like one of the best things she could do. And kind of eating a keto lifestyle, so less carbs and more like proteins and healthy fats. So you might even take, and like with intermittent fasting, she said that that's what her doctor told her would be the best diet for her. And so you might even think about that. I know there's like even I don't know who it is, but I follow this girl. I want to say she's friends with Angie Smith. If you know the writer Angie Smith, she's written like Seamless and some Bible studies. But Angie Smith has an autoimmune, and she shared about an autoimmune cookbook that she loves, and it's grain free. So, because I do know a lot of, like, they say that really helps with autoimmune diseases, just going grain free. So that might also be something you think about. Like, maybe you take the Portion Fix and bring it, you keep all the carbs, you do exactly what you get, but you try to choose carbs that are, sweet potatoes or things that aren't like grains. Mm-hmm. So that might also help you even with some of your inflammatory stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to show you guys this intermittent fasting thing. I'm like, intermittent fasting is amazing to me because I really do believe our bodies were made for it. I mean, if you think back to like even the Bible times, I mean, they were like hunting for food. They were they'd have to grow their own food. The thing about it is like they have times when they would be through a drought and they would just have to use the stored up food that they had. And so our bodies like were made to kind of have that fasting, like there might be a day when they would go without food. Now, I'm not saying that anybody on here needs to necessarily fast a day unless you feel called to spiritually. But it is really interesting how good it is for your blood sugar levels and your gut. Like, your gut actually is able to process food because it actually has the time to. So it's really, really interesting. If you will go to, I'm going to show you guys this really quickly, and then we can get into anything else. So if you go to the nutrition tab on Beachbody On Demand, and pretty much everyone should have access to this. If you bought a challenge pack, you should have access to it. First off, there's this video that goes into the 2 nutrition programs and which one to choose from. This is a good place to start if you're just starting out with To Be Mindset or Portion Fix, and you're trying to figure out like which one to use. But if you go down specifically to Portion Fix and you click this little icon here, you guys will see all of program materials are here. So you'll go to lessons for all of the different lessons. There's different rails, and then you'll go to program materials. And so it's all on here. And she's got all these amazing, like, just things that you can print off. But all of the lessons are here. And if you go down into these, this is where the intermittent fasting stuff is going to be. So it's all within this Portion Fix, which is awesome. So again, that's all just on that nutrition tab. And they've also got the monthly fix, which is a class that you can sign up for. It's $15 a month. It's going to be part of the new BOD Interactive that we have coming out, which is going to be live classes. And Nutrition Plus will be a part of that. But all of that is really awesome too. And she goes into intermittent fasting stuff a lot more in that as well. So, Julie, do you have any other questions?
I think one of the other questions was just about the Recover. I just got it for the first time, and I was wondering, do you use it every day after you work out, or just certain days?
Yeah. Did you get the chocolate or the orange?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. First of all, I have friends who love the chocolate. They make, like, they do it with oatmeal. Courtney Foster, who's on my team, if you go to her Instagram, she like posts it all the time. But she loves it mixed with oatmeal. It almost makes it taste like those no-bake cookies, she says. So I've never had it, but she is like, it's amazing. I'm actually team orange, so I love orange. But yeah, so, and this was actually a question that someone else had, so I'll kind of dive into this one. She said, what is my daily regimen with Beachbody supplements, and how often / times a week do you use them? So I'll kind of tackle these two together. So for me personally, I do Energize mixed with Hydrate and Collagen in the morning when I get up. I like to do that because collagen has a little bit of protein in it, and it's also really good for your nails and your skin and all kinds of other things. But I like to do that because it kind of gives you a little tad bit of protein right before your workout. It's not a ton, obviously. But Energize is, I drink it while I'm reading my Bible. So I'll typically make that as soon as I get up. You want to drink Energize 20 minutes to 30 minutes before your workout, if you really want to get the full effects of it. Some days I'll drink, kind of like half of it. And then as I'm walking out to do my workout in the garage, I'll drink the rest of it. I like Hydrate because it's got tons of electrolytes in it. And I just love how it really hydrates my body right before my workout. And then throughout my workout, I personally drink water. Some people like to do Energize 20 minutes before, and then they drink their Hydrate while they're working out. There's been tons of studies on why Hydrate is way better for you than any Gatorade or anything else out there. It does have a lot of sugar in it though. Not a lot, but more sugar than I wish it had, to just being honest. So if you are watching your sugar intake, you might want to be careful about Hydrate. But even just Energize by itself is really good. So 20 minutes before your workout. For Recover, I personally drink Recover on all of my workout days except for like stretch days, because it is really, really good for sore muscles. Now, if you want to savor your Recover and you don't want to necessarily use it if you don't absolutely need it, you could just do it on lifting days. So days where you do weights. It's got a ton of protein in it. It's got amino acids that are going to help your body like not be so sore. So amino acids are really good for after your workout. And that goes for cardio or like lifting. So that's how I do my Recover. You want to drink it within 20 minutes of your workouts. So you have to make sure you drink all of it. Don't like sip on it and forget to drink it. Drink all of it as quickly as you can within that 20 minutes. And then as far as other supplements go, we also do order Beach Bars. So we just use Beach Bars as kind of a snack. My kids love them and I'm fine with it. They think it's like a chocolate candy bar. So they like to eat them for snacks. Brian usually takes one for work, just as a snack. Beach Bars are awesome. They have very low sugar. They've got a ton of fiber, protein, just to help you stay really full. So we also use that. And then I also use the Power Greens and Shakeology. I like Shakeology is my staple every single day. I've drank it through every pregnancy, every, breastfeeding journey. And I feel like it really helps my body like just have energy. It helps me not have like as many junk food cravings because I'm actually giving my body the things it needs. There's a lot of shakes out there. They're like, oh, we help curb your cravings. That's not what Shakeology was made for. It helps curb your cravings because you're actually fueling your body with the things that it needs. And so it's kind of like if you're giving your body the things it needs, then it won't crave sugar and breads and things like that if you're fueling your body with the things that it needs. It's not like there's something in it that suppresses your hunger. That's a very big difference. And so Shakeology is truly a superfood shake. It's not a protein shake. It's not like I'll hear people compare it to protein shakes. I'm like, yeah, that's not what it is. Like, it is a healthy food drink. Like, it is like going to the juice bar and getting all the shots of everything put into something and drinking that. That is what Shakeology is. And so I usually do Shakeology. Recently, I've been doing it more of a snack. But I mean, a lot of days I would do it as my lunch. While the kids are eating, I'll make it. And I usually do strawberry vegan, and we do it with a banana, blueberries, plain Greek yogurt, and some water, and ice, and then just blend it up. And then I also do the Power Greens. I actually really like the Power Greens mixed with a little bit of orange juice. My mom used to make us drink this stuff called barley green growing up, and she would mix it with orange juice, and it just makes me think of that. So, but I like doing the mixed greens. Brian puts it in his Shakeology, and then he puts spinach in there too, just to kind of like get in some extra greens. But I like drinking it in a shot because I don't like it mixed in with my Shakeology, but everyone's different. So, I mean, honestly, you can't really taste it if you put it in your Shakeology. But I like to have it by itself. So, let's see. Okay. Did you have any other questions, Julie, or was that everything for you?
I think that's everything.
Okay, perfect. Well, the last question I had from one of the other girls was getting connected with a purpose partner. So for our 645 group, test group, we're going to be doing purpose partners. So be on the lookout. We'll be doing a post tomorrow morning where everyone will comment who wants a purpose partner. And we're basically going to go in and figure out like seasons of life, who would be the best to put together. And then we'll post the graph of like your team, not teams, but like your purpose partner, as well as their contact info, so you guys can reach out to each other and all that good stuff. So we'll get that rolling. I'm just making sure there was no other questions. Making sure nobody drops anything while we were on here. And then I think we'll be good to go. Okay, yeah, I don't see anything. I'll say this too, Julie, because I didn't really answer your question about the MyFitnessPal. The one thing I will say is like I'm not like I think everyone has a different headspace around MyFitnessPal or tracking macros or like keeping up with their calories. Some people need that. Some people like they need those boundaries. And so I mean, it's not necessarily like it's a bad idea to try out for a few weeks and just to use as a tracking system. But for some people, like seeing the calories can be kind of obsessive and they can get really obsessed with the idea of staying in that calorie bracket. So I would just say, like, know yourself. And if you feel like that's something that's going to be triggering for you, maybe try the portion fix first, just because it's not about a number necessarily. And you can kind of, it still has boundaries, but it's not like you're obsessed with this calorie number, So maybe to give that a try. So. Well, thank you for being on, and I hope this was helpful. Hopefully it's helpful to everybody that's watching the recording. And you guys just let me know if you have any questions, and I'll make sure that I get them tackled and answered for you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, of course. I hope you have an amazing day, friend.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.